week, I'm delighted we get to talk to Tim and Becki Arnold. For those that don't know you, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourselves and your family, and also what you've been up to over the last 4 years?
Yep, so I'm Becki and this is Tim, and we met here at Life Church. We got married here about 12 years ago, and now we've got 3 children. We've got Woody, who's 8, and Asher, who's 6, and Rocco, who's just turned 5. And for about the past 10 years, we've had a relationship with a prayer movement called 24/7 Prayer, and one of the ways that was expressed that we went out to Ibiza for a few summers and for a 6-month stint to serve in the mission team there.
A large part of what we've been doing is just being part of a prayerful community, and then alongside that we were tasked with cultivating a local expression of church community that could be all year round. Becki was involved in working with girls from the sex industry, and I was partly involved with some of the nighttime work and rhythms that happened, serving tourists that got in a muddle, basically. And then towards the end we were involved in something that Becki ran with this food bank initiative. So our centre kind of evolved from what it was kind of doing to meet this new need.
It's been a privilege for us as a church to be able to support you. It'd be great to hear, as you look back, maybe what some things are that you would be giving thanks for, whether that's people, things that have happened, etc. Just hear a little bit about what's gone on.
One of the big things we're thankful for and are just really celebrating is just seeing lives transformed. And one of the biggest privileges has been to be alongside people in addiction and see them take steps into recovery, and just the absolute life transformation that's brought.
Yeah, think of one guy, we'll call him D. He made a commitment to follow Jesus, got baptised, and he was still using alcohol and other substances. But slowly, as we journeyed with him, our family became his family, and he joined into this kind of church family, the Lord kind of just nudged him and opened his eyes to see that how he was living wasn't kind of a place of wholeness and fullness for him. So he decided to stop using cannabis and alcohol, and he went on a massive journey, and we were able and privileged to kind of journey some of that with him. And then think of another guy who was a local Spanish guy, and he had lots of health problems, didn't he? And he lived in kind of a challenging environment, and the church community was able to get around him and kind of offer support in improving where he lived and doing some renovations.
His was that transformation from being really on the outskirts of community to being right at the heart and almost kind of an elder of the community.
Wow. Yeah, very good. I mean, I know it's not always been, you'd say the journey's had lots of ups and downs, it's not always been easy. As you look back, what are the things that you would say you particularly learned?
The 2 things that stand out for me, and it sounds very obvious having been part of a prayer movement to say it was a journey of learning about prayer, but I think that's been really key. I think there was a shift in us as a team, particularly praying about things, to just gathering to pray around the person of Jesus. I think I read somewhere that team gathers around a task and a Christian community gathers around Jesus, and I think that shift happened for us when we started to meet, to worship and to have community and to commune with each other and with God, and that was the foundation of our prayer life. And I think one of the other things is the idea of church as family, and I was familiar with that language before we went. Would have said that church was a family, but I think what we experienced in Ibiza was connecting with lots of people for whom the church community wasn't just a family, it was in fact their only family. Don't let that create this idealistic world. That is chaotic and messy, as families are, but I think it was a real privilege to be alongside people for whom the church was their family.
Yeah, it was like this interdependence thing where we thought we were coming to do something for these people that needed our help, and we actually received so much more than what we actually gave, which was a massive lesson to learn, wasn't it? We learnt about vulnerability as addicts, walked their journey with us and how they were so honest and vulnerable and open, and we learnt from them how to be honest and vulnerable and open. Yeah, it was interesting. You went to an AA meeting once, didn't you?
Yeah, I went to a Narcotics NNA meeting, a Narcotics Anonymous meeting with a friend, and it was the first time I'd gone. and I was nervous and I didn't know what to expect, and it just gave me a little insight as to what it might be like for people stepping into faith community or into church on a Sunday. And it was a place of encounter for lots of the people there. It was a real kind of spiritual atmosphere and a place of encounter with God. Some people would relate their higher power to God, and some people it was a place of encounter for themselves. But it just felt like there was just a real shift in power dynamics where we entered into other people's spaces.
So you're back in Manchester, and which for us is great to have you around. What now?
We're looking for something very simple. We're looking to try and love God and love others in this season.
Yeah, it feels like there's an invitation to just come and to put our roots down and to be present, not to rush anything, not to dive into anything, to see where God is at work in and amongst kind of, you know, our neighbours and community, and to be involved where we are.
Well, for anyone that's listening and watching and thinks, oh, I'd love to either just connect personally with Tim and Becki and family, or just hear a bit more about what they've been up to, we're going to run a couple of specific evenings. So next Sunday the 3rd of October at 4:30, we're going to host in our house for Tim and Becki and family an afternoon tea that anyone that would like to come and just sort of be a part of that, it'll be very relaxed and informal, but also they'll take a bit of time to share a bit more, and you'd be really welcome. And similarly, on Friday the 8th, Tim and Becki are inviting anyone and everyone for dinner, if you'd like to go, at 6:30 in their house. So there's a couple of opportunities in different ways to connect and to hear a bit more that we just want to make available to the church family. Thanks so much, both of you, for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andy.